Okay, today we will talk about task versus relationship, and how actually different cultures, they have different perceptions about how they're going to relate with tasks and how they're going to do with relationship, and which one comes first and when that will come first as well. So do you have anything to say on that?
Oh my goodness, so much. This has been one of the biggest sources of not conflict, but relational tension in my friendships and working relationships with people from other cultures. Because many, not all, but many Western cultures we could classify as task-oriented cultures, whereas a lot of other cultures we could classify as relationship-oriented cultures. What that does not mean is that only task is important to Western cultures, or only relationship is important, but it's more the emphasis in how we plan our days, in how we communicate, it's how we organize those things. So, okay, for example, when I first came to England, I was studying, and one of my classmates that just lived in the same dorm area as I did. One evening she came to me, and she's from a different culture, and she came to me and said, "Hey, do you want to go to Tesco with me?" Tesco is like the little supermarket we had at the bottom of the hill.
Oh, okay.
Like just a short few minutes walk away. And I said, "No, I don't need anything from Tesco, but thank you." In my mind, she's asking me, do I need to go to Tesco?
Which is not.
It's not. To her, she was just saying, "I'm going to be by myself. Will you come be with me?"
I want your company.
Exactly. It had nothing to do with what needed to be done. But I didn't receive it that way at all, because that's just not how I think. And so I actually really hurt her and had no idea.
Absolutely.
And those kind of things can happen a lot.
Yeah, I can totally relate with that, because culturally, like be with someone else, while they're doing something, it's very important. So it's very common to say, "Can you come with me to do this? Or would you like to come to the supermarket? Or would you like to come to the mall?" And it's not because I'm not asking if you need. It's just really, I'm just asking for your company. And naturally, even if I don't want, am I going to go just to give you company? But again, that is in your side, that would be very hard to understand if you don't know what I'm trying to communicate.
Exactly. And the other thing is, like, in my culture, for example, we might invite you to come with us just for the sake of fun. But if somebody says, "Oh, I'm really busy right now," or whatever, I would never be offended, or I would never feel that they were rejecting me. To me, it's just simply they have other things to do, and that's not a task that they need to do right now. But I think a lot of other cultures, they can receive that as even a personal rejection, that it's, "Oh, they don't want to spend time with me." Do you think that's a fair?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think the thing is, we always, when we say no, the no has to come with a reason.
Okay.
I cannot just say no because I don't want. So that's my perception.
Okay.
Now, not necessarily everything works like this, but most of the time. So if I say just, "Oh, no, I don't want to go, thank you," that can be received as a rejection.
Okay.
So I need to have a reason why I don't want to go. Like, let's say this whole situation with the supermarket, why you don't want to go, you would have to say, "Oh, no, thank you, I don't need it, and I have to do something now. I need to do my laundry, or I need to watch a movie, or I have something else." So you kind of give a reason why you're not able to do, what they're asking you to do.
So can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Because this I wondered about. I had a similar situation while I was studying. Again, a different friend from another culture invited me to go to a party with her. I didn't know anyone at that party. I was tired, and I just didn't want to do it. I had other things I wanted to do. I wanted to rest. But so I told her, "Oh, thank you so much for the invitation, but I don't think I'm going to go this time." And she was really hurt, and I didn't understand why at the time. But what would be is there, even if I don't have something specific to do, let's say I'm just tired or I just don't want to go, is there a gracious way that I could not go without hurting her?
You have to invent something. You have to invent an excuse.
Oh my
we ended up doing it. But in this case, a proper way, probably a wise way to do it would be to give the real reason. You know, it's not just because you don't want to go. Because probably if you knew a lot of people, if lots of your friends would be there,
Sure.
so you probably would be more willing to go. So you could easily communicate, I don't think I want to go because I don't know anyone. And when I am in an environment where I don't know many people, that can be very stressful, and I can, you know, and I'm kind of tired. So it's okay if I decided not to go. So see, so you give a real reason. It's not just I don't want to go, but has to be something else. I don't know anyone. I don't know anyone there. I don't think I'm going to be comfortable. So then if you give those reasons and then you ask the question, is that okay? To make sure the person understood. So then the person probably will feel fine, even if they feel like, oh, I wish you could go, but that is a reason for them to feel comfortable. Can you see?
Yeah, And have you had situations as well personally where
in terms of communication,
the task versus relationship aspect of that?
Yeah, I think when I arrived here, one of the things that for me was hard is how, because again, I come from a place where if you see people 10 times a day, if I'm talking to you, if the person passed by you, you're going to stop the conversation, you're going to look to the person, and you're going to say, hi, and then I go back to my conversation again. So here, again, I realized that unless if you are in the task environment of a person, that might be a possibility that this person not going to see you if they pass by you.
Yeah,
do you understand?
True.
So that is
I
because
can see that.
Yeah, if let's say if I have someone, if I have to talk, to do a work with someone in my office, so I leave my house thinking about that person. So then it's sometimes I don't see anyone else in my radar because I'm thinking about that person. It's not that I don't say hi because I don't want. I haven't seen you. I didn't see you in this process. So that is the other thing. And one other thing that I remember that I was very offended, I was at the beginning when I arrived here. I had this friend of mine and that I liked it very much. And then that I liked very much.
Good job. Yes.
And then in this, I remember this other friend, English friend, came and I said, hey, come here. I want to introduce you my friend. This English friend of mine she said, I'm so sorry, I'm so busy now, I don't think I can come. And in my mind was just like 3 minutes I needed from her to introduce my friend. That was very important, kind of to bring the connection. I was really offended. And then she left. And I felt like, what I'm good. And then I had to kind of feel I had to justify to this other friend of mine why she did that. Later on, I realized that the reason was she could not be fully present. So therefore, she'd rather not come, and give 3 minutes, but not being fully present. She'd rather come and maybe spend 10, 15 minutes and say, so she was honest. But again, that was, for me, that was not enough. So so things like this, that you have to really being open in order to understand the other side as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when I hear that, I even could think in my own mind, even just this morning on my way to meet you, I ran into someone I knew and I was in a hurry, and she just had a question for me about something she had seen me post, a photo she had seen me post on my social media. And so she said, oh, what was that? And she was genuinely interested and wanted to know. But in my mind, I'm thinking, I'm running late to meet Damaris and she's going to be waiting for me. And because culturally for me, that's such a value that I'm not going to make you wait. So then that's what I was thinking. So I just said to her, I would love to talk to you about this. I'm so sorry. I'm in a hurry right now, but let's have tea later this week and then I can catch you up properly. So that for us, like culturally, that would be completely normal and acceptable and not rude. But that is something I've learned from friends from other cultures of how important just that simple greeting and stopping to take time is.
In the same line, exactly the same example, just a different behavior. When I was about to come here today, I was in another meeting. And so I decided to leave the meeting 15 minutes earlier to make sure I wouldn't come late to my commitment here, because I had to come before you to make sure things would be prepared. So it was so funny. As soon as I left the meeting, I had 3 other people who wanted to talk to me separately. I could not say, I'm so sorry, I have another meeting now. Can I talk to you? I couldn't. I stopped with each one of them. I gave my attention to each one of them and came late. So it's exactly the same situation, but different approach and different behavior.
Exactly.
Because for me, it would be extremely rude in my nature not to give the attention to those people who had a question to me.
Yeah.
And then came here, I just said, oh guys, I'm so sorry, I'm late. But again, in my mind, I'm late because I wasn't in this meeting and I had to talk to those people.
Sure.
So I expected that people will understand. But again, it's a completely different situation, behavior with the same situation.
Exactly. So what do you think is important then for us to remember when we're dealing with this whole relationship versus task-oriented differences? How can we work together with as little misunderstanding as possible?
I think it's being able to understand one another, being able not to assume the worst.
Yeah.
I think that's the main thing. So not to assume that, oh, this person is coming late because they don't respect me.
Yeah.
And at the same time, and depends on who I'm working, I will be more careful and not to come, to be more strict, in how I'm gonna organize my time not to come late as well. So I think it's being able to understand one another and trying to meet one another in where we are, in the middle. But I think most of all, nobody will do, something to hurt you.
Exactly. The whole intention piece. I think that's the most important thing, really, because, when we understand that somebody, when we assume the best, I am going to assume, even if you're running late, I know that we're friends and you're not going to try to disrespect me. So I'm going to assume that something happened or something has come up that is keeping you for whatever reason. And the same thing, I think sometimes when we talk about the whole relationship versus task-oriented thing, there's a common misconception for someone who maybe doesn't come from a task-oriented culture. They could tend to think, oh, people from Western cultures, they don't care about relationship. It's all about getting something done.
So wrong.
Completely not true. It's just how we express it. But on the flip side, someone from a very task-oriented culture might think that people from other cultures don't respect them or don't respect their time or don't manage their time well or whatever, which is also completely untrue. It's just about how they prioritize and organize their life around those values. So again, I think just assuming the best, being generous with our assumptions, as we say so often, and going back to the intention and just working to show respect to each other in a way that the other person will receive in their cultural context.
I like when I heard someone saying, here in England, like he said, for us, we like to take care of business because we want to have more time for relationship later.
Yeah, that's true.
And that changed completely my understanding about that. So when instead of having relationship through the process, I want to make sure that I will have this time with more quality for relationship by taking care of business first.
Exactly.
And that helped a lot, the understanding in embracing the other way of seeing things.
Because that's really true. And even in the US, that's often you kind of go through your work day, get everything done, and then you can be fully present with your family and your friends and enjoy that time. So yeah, it's interesting, these differences, but it's really important to understand that if you're working with people from other cultures or friendships or whatever that is, it's very key, I think.
And just remember, if you're offended, if you feel not accepted, and if you feel rejected, what do?
Ask questions.
Yes!
Be curious.
Ask questions and be curious.
I feel like I passed a test.
Yeah!